Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, closure for a local family more than a decade in the making. The clue that cracked the cold case of a murder of an Alachua County teen.
Plus, putting a stop to human trafficking, where Florida ranks among others when it comes to the crimes and the organizations working to put an end to it.
And North Central Florida's hit with hard weather just in time for Severe Weather Awareness Week. What the UF Weather Team wants you to know about the importance of the next few days.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Today, the family of a murdered 16-year-old is finally receiving the answers they've been waiting for. This is First at 5. I'm Serra Sowers.
And I'm Kennedy Mason. It has been nearly 14 years since the death of high schooler Sebastian Oxenius.
State Attorney Brian Kramer, along with Alachua County Sheriff Emery Gainey, shared more details about the indictment of Timothy Eugene Thomas. Thomas was indicted for the first-degree murder of Sebastian Oxenius. The Oxenius family will never forget learned who investigators believe Sebastian killed. Just hours ago, WUFT watched as the state attorney's office gave the community answers. While Timothy Thomas is now in Alachua County jail, he had already been serving a life sentence for his attempted murder of an Orange County police officer in 2015. To the family, this revelation is a means to a whole new chapter of life.
Now it's not about that. It's not about how my family feels or has felt in the past. It's about what we've said from the get-go, which was bringing my brother justice.
Sheriff Gainey also shared new details about a woman believed to be involved in the crime. The family is asking that if you do have any information, you inform the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. We're following breaking news out of Marion County, where a school resource officer is behind bars charged with lewd battery on a child. In a press release just sent to us, deputies say 34-year-old Christian Lennon was a resource officer at Denellen High School. Investigators say they were made aware of the allegations last week between Lennon and a former student by the student's guidance counselor. They say Lennon had inappropriate sexual contact with the then 15-year-old on several occasions. Lennon had been a resource officer since August of 2022. He's in the Marion County Jail with no bond.
And just in time for Severe Weather Awareness Week, North Central Florida saw our share of strong storms over the weekend. This is a video of hail raining down around the University of Florida campus. Each day this week, law enforcement and emergency management around the state are highlighting components of severe weather. Today is focused on lightning. Florida is the lightning capital of the U.S. There are 70 to 100 thunderstorms annually. Ironically, this comes after a line of severe storms went through North Central Florida Sunday. Residents reported hail across the state. Florida Disaster recommends going to a large enclosed structure in times of severe weather and lightning. But that may not be enough.
Lightning actually can strike about 10 miles away from the center of the thunderstorm. So that means like you could be in a place where there's no rain at all and it looks like, a blue sky, and lightning can still strike. So that's why they say there's really no safe place to be from lightning.
Staying prepared is key. Maxham recommends staying knowledgeable and knowing when the storm is coming. After this weekend's severe weather, we can expect some mild temperatures before a big change. UF forecaster Jessica Nitty is timing out when we will see our next warm-up.
Yes, Kennedy, we saw a lot of severe weather this weekend. Yesterday, thunderstorms coming through, lightning. It brought tornado warnings and even some tornadoes that touched down here in Jacksonville and Tallahassee. We even got some hail here in Gainesville. That low pressure system came through right yesterday, but led into tomorrow, we will see no weather.
Protecting yourself from human trafficking, that's the goal of organizations and law enforcement across the country, including here in Florida, where the crime is higher than in many other states. WUFT's Alex Land is live in the studio with how local officials are working to combat the growing crime.
Super Bowl weekend is known for camaraderie, but it's also known as one of the most popular times for human trafficking, and the Sunshine State is near the top of the list for the crime. Authorities urge you, if you see something, say something.
Allison Ungaro has always resonated with butterflies.
In fact, they are scattered all around her office at Created Gainesville. The nonprofit is dedicated to restoring the lives of sex trafficking survivors. The organization bases its principles around 4 pillars of recovery: youth prevention, outreach, restorative care, and awareness. In the last 10 years, Allison has seen an uptick in online trafficking.
What we used to see on the streets in plain sight is now behind screens and behind closed doors.
88% of all human trafficking involves online communication. Human trafficking is the force, fraud, or coercion to obtain commercial sex or a labor act. The Florida Alliance to End Human Trafficking's executive director, Erin Collins, reports Florida ranks as the 3rd highest state for the crime in the nation.
Human trafficking is prevalent in Florida because there are a lot of different ways that people can come and visit our state. Whether it's airports, ports, traveling by land, we are truly the gateway to the world.
The lure is often for the promise of a better life. Promises of financial security, romantic relationships, or even jobs. Allison says all cases involve manipulation.
So now a trafficker might say, okay, I've done all these things for you. I paid for these things, and now you're going to do this for me. And if you don't, then there's going to be violence.
Erin says many cases involve branding.
There are oftentimes physical markings or branding that traffickers will use on their victims. So it could be, burn marks or even tattoos.
The aftermath can be intense. That's why Allison and Erin say the process is a metamorphosis. That's why the butterfly represents a survivor's journey to a fresh start. Every 24 hours, there are approximately 500 to 800 sex ads published between Gainesville and Ocala. If you suspect an instance of human trafficking, report it to Florida law enforcement at 855-FLA-SAFE. Live in the studio, Alex Land, WUFT News.
Police in Ocala need your help tracking down a murder suspect. Investigators say over the weekend they responded to a shooting call near West Silver Springs Boulevard. That's where they found the victim. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. Detectives say if you have any information about the shooting, call Crime Stoppers at 368-TIPS.
Marion County Fire is mourning the loss of one of their officials. Officials announced the death of driver-engineer Charles Westfall, or better known as Chuck, to those close to him. Westfall battled COVID-19 since August of 2021. He died Sunday from complications of the disease. After recovering some strength, officials say he returned to the force and demonstrated how firefighters never give up. Officials released a statement remembering Westfall for his dedication to his career and his impact throughout the community. The statement says the following: "Let us remember Chuck for his infectious laughter, his unwavering dedication to our mission, and the countless lives he touched throughout his career." The city of Gainesville is inviting neighbors to this year's State of the City address to hear more about the future of the city. Mayor Harvey Ward will address Gainesville residents about the city's progress toward the goals and visions. The event will take place on February 13th at 10 a.m. at Santa Fe College's Blount Center. Those who missed the event can also tune in to the city's Facebook page's live stream.
Police in Gainesville are asking for your help to catch a pair of robbery suspects. The 2 people you are seeing now on the screen are suspects of an open case involving a robbery that happened outside of a Publix near University Avenue. Investigators say the pair stole jewelry and money from a car parked outside of the store in early January. Detectives say they believe the female suspect was finishing an Instacart order while the crime happened. If you have any information, contact GPD.
Marion County Fire Rescue saves the day for pets in a mobile home fire. Officials answered to several 911 calls about smoke and fire coming out of a mobile home at the area between Southeast 146th and 147th Street. When officials arrived at the scene, they saved 2 dogs and 6 cats from the blazing structure. No one besides the pets were home, according to officials. Though officials report no human injuries, 1 dog and 2 cats did die in the fire. They say the fire was under control at 2 p.m. and the cause of the fire remains unknown.
Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, you might be waking up earlier or later than you've seen in the next school year. We tell you which county is changing their school start times and how and which schools will be affected.
And the place you live will affect the amount you'll be charged for streaming your favorite movies. We tell you what platform will cost you more and why when we return.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
It's not the first time we've heard of changing school start times, but leaders in Marion County are bringing up the issue again at a meeting this week. For the 2024-2025 school year, Marion County Public Schools is proposing elementary schools start at 7:35, just 5 minutes earlier than this school year. High schools would start at 8:30 and let out at 3, except for Lake Weir, which would get out at 3:55. All middle schools would move to a 9:20 start time, with the exception of Fort McCoy K-8, which would start at 7:35 like the elementary schools. The most drastic start time change could be seen at Horizon Academy at Marion Oaks, transitioning from a 7:55 start time to 9:20. Now, around this time last year, Representative John Temple from the Villages proposed a bill that would make start times for middle and high school later, stating it would be healthier for students and their sleep schedules. Fresh Take Florida previously reported that changing start times in school districts with bus driver shortages could change costs and make routes more efficient. Marion County School Board is planning to discuss the proposed bell times for the next school year during a meeting Tuesday night.
During tomorrow's board meeting, Alachua County school officials will discuss a number of changes, including a raise for the superintendent. The draft of the contract says Superintendent Shane Andrews' salary would be $190,000 and receive a monthly allowance of $800 to use on the superintendent's car. Andrews' current salary is $175,000. Alachua County parents are running out of time to apply their student for the county's magnet programs for the next school year. School leaders say there are a variety of academic magnets and career and technical academies from elementary to high school. The county's specialized programs will cater to your child's interests and talents. Application closes Tuesday, February 13th at 4 p.m. For more information, head to sbac.edu/magnet.
Marion County Public Schools are celebrating their newest Teacher of the Year. Jennifer Brown was given the prestigious award during the annual Golden Apple Gala over the weekend. Brown teaches geometry at Forest High School and was nominated alongside 5 other applicants. The Public Education Foundation of Marion County sponsors the recognition program.
Starting next week, neighbors in Florida will pay a higher monthly subscription to stream their favorite Netflix shows and movies. Beginning February 15th, Netflix users will see a new charge into their accounts. The Florida's communication services tax is required for communication services sold in the state. The Florida Department of Revenue says the tax of 5% is applied to cable and satellite television, video services, and mobile and telephone communications. Subscribers of other streaming services such as Hulu and Disney Plus already see this charge on their monthly bills after the tax took effect in 2021.
Coming up ahead, I'll tell you about showers ending this evening, a cool breezy Tuesday, and weather warming up into this weekend.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Taking a look at the highs today, we are a bit below average. Here in Gainesville, 63 degrees, Ocala 63, and Lake City 59. We're used to seeing the temperatures a bit higher, but going into this evening, the temperature quickly starts to drop. Still those scattered showers remaining, but nothing too notable for the rest of this evening. Taking a look at that campus cam, still we see partly cloudy, a little bit of rain, but nothing right now and nothing too notable for the rest of the evening. Temperature 62, winds coming from the north at about 8 miles an hour. And then heading into the temperatures right now, Gainesville 61, Ocala 58, and the Villages 60. Now taking a look at tomorrow morning, as you wake up, you will see those cooler temperatures. Gainesville 47, Stark 45, and Lake City 45. A lot cooler than we were seeing today. Now taking a look at tomorrow morning, still cool and breezy, but quickly starts to warm up for a sunny day ahead. As we take a look, that low pressure system we saw come through Florida, we see it start to push away though. We won't see any more weather from that as we head into tomorrow. That high pressure system remains over us, which will lead us to have those sunny skies with warm weather for the rest of this week. Saturday, we will see the weather start to warm up, highs of 73. Into Sunday, also looking at temperatures of 76. Taking a look at the rest of the week, like I said, the week starts off pretty cool from that weather we had this weekend, but quickly starts to warm up into Saturday and Sunday, highs reaching almost 80. You might want to spend some time outside, take a walk in the park, and yeah.
SEC play continues to heat up as the Florida men's basketball team continues to fight through the toughest stretch of the season. With the final push before tournament play testing the Gators' skills, the future is in their hands. I'm bringing you this and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Good afternoon, I'm Alexis Vivanco with your sports for the day. We start things off today mourning the loss of Bill Carr, who passed away this weekend at age 78. Carr was an All-American center and team captain for the Gators football team during the 60s, playing alongside another Gators legend, Steve Spurrier. Afterwards, Carr would get drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the 4th round and enlist in the military. After that, Carr took over as Florida's youngest Division I athletic director in the country at age 33. Spurrier gave a statement to the Orlando Sentinel, calling Carr a wonderful guy, wonderful friend, and super Gator. Our hearts go to Carr's family at this time. And it was a rough time for Gators hoops fans this weekend as the orange and blue faithful saw both the men's and women's team falling short in SEC play. The men took the floor first on Saturday, going first head-to-head with Texas A&M. In true SEC fashion, the game went down to the wire. The Gators and the Aggies would go back and forth on scoring runs, with the Gators holding a sizable lead heading into the second half. Ultimately, costly turnovers and a monster 26-point performance from Tyrese Radford allowed the Aggies to snap the Gators' 4-game SEC win streak 67-66. As for the women, their matchup against number 7 LSU saw the Gators with a commanding 6-3 lead for all of 2 minutes and 5 seconds. From there on out, it was all Tigers, no breaks. Even a 20-point performance from Aliyah Matharu couldn't save the Gators from a 40-point deficit. Final score, 106-66. Looking ahead, the Gators will try to right the ship in Thursday's matchup against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Luckily, number 8 Gators Gymnastics was able to make the most of SEC play this weekend, beating the Georgia Gym Dogs on their home floor Friday night. The Gators went down to the wire with number 21 Georgia, seeing some season-high performances on the vault. Strong showings from Anya Pilgrim, Leanne Wong, and freshman Skylar Dracer saw UF complete the vault sweep. The uneven bars were led by Eddie Lazari, who scored a 990 on the event. Friday will see Florida taking number 7 Arkansas Friday night at the O-Dome.
And in other Olympic news, the Olympic trials were in Orlando this weekend, where we are both from.
Yes, it looked like tons of fun from all the photos I saw on Facebook. And it looked like the weather was just perfect for a marathon weekend. So,
oh yes, we have some nice weather ahead this weekend, or this week starting off a little bit cool. You might need a sweater, but going into the weekend, it'll be really nice with warm temperatures and you won't be needing a sweater anymore.
Great news. Thanks so much, Jessica. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
Remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.